Hello, chess fans! This is Rick from Chess to Impress. I've been away for a while, but I'm back. Have been very busy with work lately. I always hate it when life gets in the way of chess. It shouldn't. But I'm back making videos. Thank you for your messages of concern and thanks for not giving up on me. For the foreseeable future, I'm planning to do 2 videos a week. I'll publish on Thursdays and on Sundays. On Thursdays, a video about any topic, and on Sundays, I will continue my Viewers Game series. So you can keep sending in your own games and I will analyze them on Chess to Impress. This video is about Grandmaster Peter Svidler's bad day at the office. Grandmaster Peter Svidler is an 8-time Russian champion, an elite grandmaster, and he does a lot of work for Chess24, the chess platform. One of the things he does for them is a banter blitz where he plays blitz games against members of Chess24. And one blitz game has made it to a little promotion video for Chess24 about Peter Svidler's bad day at the office. That's where he played the International Master from England, Lawrence Trent. And there are some snippets of that game in that little video. You can find it on YouTube. But I've decided to analyze the whole game. It's quite an interesting game and I'll give you Peter Svidler's comments during that game. It was a 3-minute blitz game where Svidler was white and Trent was black. Svidler opened with e4, e5 from his opponent, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, the Ruy Lopez, the Spanish opening, and knight ge7 from Lawrence Trent. And Svidler said on this video that Trent had told Svidler that this is an excellent setup for black. Svidler said that he had not analyzed the line after Trent had told him, stupidly told him, he said, that this was good for black. Trent gave away an opening secret to Peter Svidler. Knight c3, d6, d4, that pawn was taken, knight takes and bishop d7, breaking the pin of the knight on c6. Svidler took on c6, bishop takes, and queen e2, and here Svidler said that white has a spatial advantage, that's all he has here. He doesn't have much, but a pleasant position. Queen d7, and Svidler took on c6, knight takes, and bishop f4 developing, preparing castling queenside. Bishop e7, and there goes the king to the queenside, and Trent castled kingside, so we have kings on opposite sides of the board. That's always a guarantee for an exciting game. Knight d5 from Svidler, rook fe8, h4, bishop f8, and g4. Svidler said here we can pretend to have a mating attack. And he said it doesn't really have a mating attack, but it's good to remind your opponent that he has a king to worry about. And it looks indeed quite scary. These pawns on g4 and h4, especially against an elite grandmaster like Svidler. Knight d5 and f3 protecting the g4 pawn, which was attacked by both the knight and the queen. It's actually not clear if black would ever want to take on g4, opening a line against his own king. But anyway, Svidler played f3 to defend that pawn. c6 kicking a knight, knight back to e3, queen e6, king stepped aside, and now b5 was played by Trent. He's starting his own attack against white's king. Svidler said during this blitz game that knight g6 may have been a better move. It's amazing that these elite grandmasters have time during a 3-minute blitz game to talk about the game and even suggest better moves. But b5 was played by Trent. h5, rook a b8, and knight f5. Here Svidler said it's still not clear how I'm getting through, but I like my position. But I need a plan, and g5, g6 is too slow, and I have to pay attention to the d6, d5 break from black. Black played knight c4, and now Svidler was slightly worried about d5. You cannot take that pawn because your queen is unprotected on e2, but there's also something hanging on b8 if the d pawn is played up to d5. Anyway, Svidler played queen d3 to unpin this pawn. Rook bd8. Svidler saw this move coming and said he had somewhat misplayed the position, but the engine still thinks that white is somewhat better here. b3 kicking the knight, knight a3 check, king b2, and here comes d5. Svidler said that here he had been hoping for this move, as he can now play e5, which is indeed a strong move. Svidler said that black should have played b4, followed by queen f6 check. He saw that as a better option for black, but as mentioned, d5 was played. e5 came indeed by Svidler, c5, h6, and c4. Svidler said, I think Trent is getting a little bit overexcited here. He played queen d4 and g6, keeping the lines against his king closed. And now knight d6 is a great move here, and Svidler didn't play it. He played knight g7, but he said immediately after making that move that knight d6 was a better move, in fact a winning move. There's an exchange hanging on e8, and also the knight on a3 is now hanging because the bishop is no longer protecting that knight. And bishop takes d6 does not work because of e takes d6, and there is a mate threat on g7 now, so you don't have time to protect the knight. If you play b4 to protect the knight on a3, then you get checkmated on the spot. So in this position, knight d6 is the move, but Svidler played knight g7, and then only after making the move saw that knight d6 was a lot stronger. Queen a6 was played by Trent. Bishop takes g7 is the best move according to the engine, and then h takes d7, queen e7, protecting the knight on a3, and the game goes on. But queen a6 was played by Lawrence Trent, and now Svidler took on e8, took the rook, as he saw that he's not getting mated by black's pieces. And now b4, and here Svidler made his famous comment, no, Lawrence, this is not how chess works. Knight f6 check. What black has done is give a full rook for a mating attack, which is not there. That knight took a full rook on e8, and black did not take back, played b4, and now Svidler saved the knight. He has won a full rook, and he's not getting mated. It's check, so king h8, and now the best move for white is b takes c4, knight takes c4 check, king steps aside to a1, and for example rook c8, and black has 3 pieces in the attack, maybe 4 if you count that bishop, but white has plenty of defenders for his king and is just a rook up. This does not lead anywhere for black. So that was after king h8 and then b takes c4, but Svidler did not play b takes c4, he played e6, and that move deserves a double question mark. From a totally winning position, he's now getting worse. We have to take into account this was a 3-minute blitz game. We can't be harsh on the players at all. c3 check was a very strong move from black, and now Svidler said maybe chess does work like this, and he said I'm now regretting what I just said, and black is indeed winning after this move. King c1 and knight b5, very nice move, attacking the queen with the knight and threatening queen a3 to b2 checkmate, and there's really nothing you can do against this. Let's see the checkmate after queen e5 saving the queen. There's queen a3 check, king b1 only move, and this is checkmate. We saw a checkmate variation on g7 for white, and now we see the same on b2 for black, a nice echo. So what to do after knight b5 with the threat of checkmate and threatening the queen? Svidler saw nothing better than knight d7 check. There goes his queen, and bishop e5 check. f6, bishop takes check, king g8, and now Svidler took the knight. Here queen a3 check is not checkmate because now the king can escape to d1. The strongest move here is queen takes a2 check. I'll show you a variation. King d1, queen b1 check, king e2, picking up the rook in the corner. Bishop takes d8, taking that rook, but then black picks up the rook on d4, as we'll see. Queen g2 check, king e1, queen g1 check, and there goes that rook, and black is decisive material up. In the game, Trent did not take on a2, he took on e6. Bishop takes d8, queen e3 check with a double attack, winning the rook. King b1, queen takes d4. The smoke has cleared and black has the queen for rook and knight and is winning. And Svidler said, how I got from there to here is beyond me, and I will never ever hear the end of it till the end of my days. He played knight f6 check, king f7, knight takes pawn, bishop takes pawn, and knight g5 check. Here we should stop series analysis because both players had around 20 seconds left on the clock. I'll show you the remaining moves. Bishop takes g5, bishop takes g5, and queen f2. a4 from Svidler to give the king a flight square on a2. Queen takes f3, hitting the rook. Rook h7 check, king e6, and rook takes a7, hoping to get counterplay with his a-pawn. Queen f1 check would lead to checkmate, but black took on g4, took another pawn, attacking the bishop. Bishop c1, and there comes the d-pawn. Rook a6 check, throw in a check, king d5, and another check, king e4, and rook g5 hitting the queen. Is protected by the bishop, Svidler had seen that. Queen d1, rook g3, g5, a5, g4, and a6. And before making this move, white overstepped the time limit. And Svidler said this is a good way to end the game, to lose on time in a position that's not all that worse. And he said, my quality of life has just gone down tremendously as I'm sharing the office with the guy. And by the way, for what it's worth, that the assessment that the position is not all that worse for white is not correct. Black is still winning. Let me give you a sample line. In this position, queen e2, for example, hitting the pawn on a6, a7, queen a6 controlling the pawn, rook takes check, king e5, just showing you a line which shows that black is still winning. Rook g7, you have to protect the a-pawn, that's the only thing you have left, but then d3 with the threat of d2 winning the bishop. The bishop would be cornered, would have no squares. So c takes d3, queen takes d3 check, king a1, queen d1. You can promote to a queen with white, but you will get checkmated in 2 moves. Just a sample line to show that black was still winning here. Not really important, it was a 3-minute blitz game, but just to show you how this game could have finished. If you watch a lot of chess on the internet, then I'm sure you have seen this bad day at the office video from Chess24 about Peter Svidler, and now you know what really happened in that game. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.